Hi everybody, Laura here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to be a part of the Syberia Designs April release blog hop, and I have a couple of fun projects to share with you using some of these new April release products, starting with this Joyful Rainbow Layering Stencil Set. I mean, it's no surprise that I fell in love with it, but look at it. You get two different shapes of rainbows, kind of like a taller rainbow and then more of a shorter rainbow. And then you can layer like little polka dots and dash marks and squiggly marks. You can add all these things and come up with a lot of different looks. So I wanted to get started and blend up a rainbow. I'm going to try I'm going to try not to sing. Like, I got a bad comment last time. Somebody was annoyed with the singing. And I actually just laughed because I don't try to do it. It just comes out. And listen, I know I'm not a singer. I'm just a mess arounder, okay? So I'm not trying to be like all good. It's just like joyful is what it is. Okay, I'm going to be using all Pawsitively saturated inks, starting with PEONY. So the largest little arch in the rainbow is PEONY. And I just want to sing. I'm working my way. Okay, not going to do it. Okay, so I'm going a little bit heavier handed at the bottom of the rainbow, fading it up a little bit lighter at the top. That's what I call the gradient love. And this is such a cute little rainbow. It's very simple, clean and simple. I was delighted how it came together. I do have my panel trimmed. I'm using Hammermill cardstock, and then I do clean in between with the little tidy towel. Anywho, I believe my panel is trimmed down quite a bit smaller than a card base. I love a good margin, a good, what do you call it? A good border around the edge. Okay, now you got to think ahead which order of arch for the colors, so you can get it in rainbow order. So I did a little math in my head. So this one here is Sunbeam, and that's gonna, hopefully it works out in rainbow order. Again, cleaning it off with the little tidy towel. I am using some of this Hefty Doodle memo tape, which I have been loving, but I feel like I'm going through it like water. And I don't know. I just like this type of memo post-it tape. I always have. I used to buy post-it tape. Used to be able to buy it at the grocery store, and it wasn't very expensive. But the price has gone up on it. But I just, I haven't found a better substitute for doing this kind of stuff. When you need a quick little mask off and, quick little temporary adhesive. I just love this memo tape and the post-it tape. Tell me if you have a better, cheaper solution, because I'm open to it. Okay, now where I'm going to start adding some fun. This little squiggly line in the top arch. So I pulled out Rose. Now, don't know if you know this, you probably do. The Pawsitively Saturated Inks by Simon Says Stamp come in little color families. So the darker shade after Peony is Rose, and I love that. So I just pulled out a little bit tone on tone. I didn't want to, compete with any extra colors, but I wanted to give a little detail. And then now here for the little bottom, there's a little polka dot arch underneath the yellow, and I pulled out Limalicious. These are the new Pink Fresh Studio little blender brushes, which are so handy dandy for little spots. And then now I'm pulling in another stencil. I'm kind of shifting in and out. There's 3 stencils that you can mix and match. And here I got Blush, and this is just a little dashed line arch, fitting that in like so. And now I'm using the little Simon Says Stamp little detail brush. You know what? Are you like me? Do you have like 5 million blender brushes of every brand and every size? But it never feels like it's too many, really. Like, I never think, you know what, I have too many. I love them all. They're like my children. Okay, look at this rainbow. Just look at it. Just look at it. Now I'm going to pop this up because dimension is life. Okay, cream card base. Now for the sentiment. The Bright and Bubbly die set. It gives you the shine, the sparkle, and the smile. Look how cute these dies are. They're like aqua. Very cute. Okay, now you can see that smile has a big old swoopy-doo on the end of it, and I knew that wasn't going to fit. I'm going to have to do a little surgery. So I'm going to die cut this smile into some gold cardstock. And it's a really cool font, by the way. And I am going to get a little dimension on this. So I went ahead and die cut 2 more out of white cardstock. Back in the day, you know, I used to die cut 4, sometimes even 5, because I was getting high on dimension. But, you know, I feel like I'm reining it in, or maybe I'm just getting tired in my old card making age. But two layers seem to be good enough for me. And one thing I love, this has been life changing, the Simon's Stamp micro dot adhesive sheets. You just pull that little backer off, slap your die cut in there, and it basically turns it into a sticker. And then you can just easily, mess free, stack up your die cuts. I'm telling you. And you know, you can't, like, now once that I've used it in that top left corner, you can't really, you know, then that kind of uses the little adhesive. So you got to kind of remember where you laid your die cuts. You are going to run out of adhesive. You got to work your way around the sheet. But so I'm trimming off the little swoopy doo and just stacking up the 2 white, topping it off with the gold. It's not super high, but it gives you a little bit of shadow. Makes you look like you mean business. And okay, update on, I've talked about this. I'm not sure. I do so many different videos for so many different companies. And I talk about my dog Hank and my son's cat Frank. And here's an update. We are making progress. We are. And Frank, the cat, is still very annoyed and usually disgusted with Hank. And Hank keeps trying. But here's the thing. Hank's behavior has calmed down. And that really has been the game changer. He just needs to calm down. And then the cat won't scurry like a rocket ship out of the room. They've had moments every day, several moments throughout the day where they just like stare at each other. And then usually the dog tries to sniff and then the cat's out of there and it's over. But I feel like we're making progress. I did have a blog or a YouTube follower. I think she lives in Switzerland, and she told me you can buy these little plugins. By the way, I added some little dewdrops for embellishment and popped it up on a cream card base. And I love the simplicity, the clean, colorful happiness. Now, next card, Confetti, another layering stencil set called Confetti. I was really intrigued by this. I believe there are 5 stencils, and they all fit together like a little puzzle piece. So you got to make sure you get them straight. You know, look up at the top corner and, you know, always make sure you got them. So I cut a piece of Hammermill cardstock to 6x6. Just cutting it the size of the stencil. I like to use my full-size Misty to just kind of lock these stencils into place. I know there's a lot of different ways you can, you know, line up your layering stencil sets. This is one that just kind of works for me. I feel like it's easy and it's handy. Okay, first one, Peony. Again, I'm going to use a lot of the same colors because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But working my way through. Stencil number 2. Back to the advice, which I never heard of before. This lady, she said you can buy pheromones. Like they're plugins. You know what plugins are? You plug them into your outlet and it makes like the house, like an air freshener. But these are pheromones. You plug them in and it releases something into the air that calms your pet down. I've never heard of that before, but I looked it up and it's actually true. There's little plugins. You can buy one for a cat and one for a dog. And if your dog is having, or your cat is like having anxiety or anxious, that will help calm them down. I haven't bought any. I just telling you what the lady told me, and I thought it was pretty interesting. She said it might help my 2 little fur babies here to try to get along. Anywho, but I feel like we're making progress regardless. This is going to be, here's the thing about this Confetti layering stencil. You can customize this in a million and different color combinations. Here I'm using all warm tones, but you could do cool tones. You could do the whole thing in one color. And it's just like makes this little bullseye, kind of draws your eye into the center. And look at it, just a closer look here. Now it pains me, but it's 6x6. So you're going to have to do an aggressive crop on this puppy if you want to, you know, turn it into a standard size card, which I do. So I trim that down quite a bit, probably 3.5 by 4 3/4, something like that. Now this sentiment die set, Foxtrot alphabet die set. I'm going to spell out happy, and I have all these little squares of, this is the new Concord 9th cardstock, which is delicious. And I'm going to do all these letters. But I was kind of wishing I didn't have such a busy background, because these letters are really cute. And I want to do another card and really showcase the cuteness of this letter. Like, you could really make a background or a really cute design just with these letters. Again, I'm going to stack these up to give it a little dimension, using those same micro dot adhesive sheets to stack them up. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But okay, so I did the colors of the new Concord 9th cardstock: dragon fruit, sweet pea, sorbet, clementine, and buttercup. Now, a couple of those colors aren't new, but I'll tell you what, that new cardstock and ink colors just get me out of bed in the morning. They really do. It doesn't matter what brand of stamps and dies I'm working with. You pull out the Concord 9th cardstock and you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Okay, so here we have happy, all stacked up. I'm using my Altenew grid mat here to line up these letters, get them straight. I'm going to take some of this little Easy C pink tape and hold them down, just like so. Now that I know they're spaced and straight, flip it over and you could add some glue. I could have, stuck that on the micro dot adhesive sheet, but sometimes for the final thing I like to use glue. Just feel like it's sturdy. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just going to let that set, and I'm going to go ahead and emboss a little coordinating sub-sentiment from the Rainbow Sentiments stamp set. Just a classic happy birthday. And I'm going to emboss this in white onto black cardstock. I'm using this Simon Says Stamp little embossing powder brush. Going to ink it up with Versamark ink. I've moved on from stamping it twice to make it nice. These days I'm stamping it thrice to make it suffice, is what I'm doing. I just feel like it gives you better results. Pour on some white embossing powder and heat that puppy with a heat gun. Then I'm going to use the coordinating die. There are coordinating dies for all of those rainbow sentiments. And okay, do you see how the dies are aqua? I already mentioned that. But they're also all cut apart, and the packaging shows you where to put the die back. Just the little things, people, that bring me joy. And then a few more little dewdrops here and there to finish this card off. It's very simple. You could customize this with blues if you want to do that. But I just kind of made these cards coordinate for the fun of it. Make sure and check out the rest of the Alex Syberia Designs April release blog hop. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.